All right. So Henry gonna do before we say too much. Henry is going to indulge us his music. Henry, tell us what are you gonna sing for us?
Well, my first love for music came from like a lot of early artists out of the 40s, the 50s, and I'm in love with the 60s. So this is a song covered by Nat King Cole, who is an artist that I truly look up to, and because of his soul, and it's called Nature Boy. I love this song. I can relate so much to it. Sometimes I feel like a little nature boy. Yeah. There was a boy, a very strange, enchanted boy. They say he wandered very far, over land and sea. A little shy and sad of eye, but very wise was he. And then one magic day, he passed my way. And though he spoke of many things, fools and kings, this he said to me: the greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and be loved in return. Um, and then one magic day, he passed my way. And though we spoke of many things, fools and kings, this he said to me: the greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and be loved in return.
Bravo.
Thank you.
Bravissimo. Wow, so beautiful. You're old soul.
I love the music like that. It's
Yeah.
inspirational.
Yeah. So welcome, Henry Duhart. I I first met you in New Hampshire.
Yes, Bedford, New Hampshire.
We were housemate, right?
Yes,
We stayed in Jack's house. Hi,
yes.
Jack. Maybe
Hey,
Jack is
Jack.
in the audience. Yeah. And so tell us a little bit about your upbringing. Like, how do you have such a beautiful voice? Is anyone in your family musical?
Um, yes. So in my family, just about everybody sings except my grandma. A lot of the singing comes from, I would say, my grandpa. His side of the family, we've always been involved in music. I grew up in the church, so that's why I have a strong connection to like soul music, because I believe soul music is the root of soul music is like gospel and church music. So I was always exposed to music my entire life, especially growing up in the church. And born in Fort Pierce, Florida, is my hometown. So it's a very diverse community full of culture and all different backgrounds. So I grew up in a place that was pretty diverse and exuding with culture and with community. And it's just my hometown. And like I said, my family is a very old fashioned. We have Sunday dinners every Sunday. We believe in family and unity. And it's just been amazing experience. Just growing up here and helping it to mold to who I am today.
And tell us a little bit about your musical training. You obviously are not just open your mouth singing like a lot of other people. You had some serious training. So tell us a little bit, because I am a musician myself. I'm very curious.
Hmm. Well, like I said, I grew up in the church, so a lot of my training until I was like 10 years old or so came strictly from just Sunday morning services and the Bible studies and hearing the church, the gospel music. And then when I got to middle school, I got into, well, I've always been in music because elementary school music everybody takes, but I actually took choir, the actual class for chorale music at Democratic Middle School. And I joined choir, and our director at the time was Miss Kathy Osking, and she opened my eyes to like Broadway. She opened my eyes to opera and classical music and Negro spirituals, everything. This awesome music education teacher in our community. And from there, once I heard like chorale style music, this and I heard like treble choirs and soprano one, like really hearing it on a level of like operatic classical control. I was just hooked in, and from there I was in choir for my entire most of my life. In middle school with Kathy Osking, in high school with Donald Mealy at Westwood High School, and then in college with Mark Butler while I was attending Florida A&M University. So my life in music has just transformed from just gospel to like at 10 I was exposed to so much, and then I just kind of indulged myself in those things. And I've been singing my whole life though. Of course, the training helps, but I've been singing since I was like 3. There's a video of me singing like at 3 years old. So I've always had like the soul and the spirit, and classical music and stuff like that just opened me up to a bigger world of music I didn't know about.
Wow, wonderful, wonderful. I heard you singing some ass ass kicking. I'm supposed not to like. Well, I did. Some ass kicking opera aria, on some old video. It's really wonderful. So, all
Mhm.
right. So, Henry, I am very impressed by your everything, especially like yesterday. I saw one thing you were doing like live and talking to people while you're it's like the protest in
Mhm.
Florida. They're very articulated, you're very convincing, and you're very well spoken. I think
Mhm.
being a singer and being a performer artist, that probably also helps to be a good politician in some way. But
Yeah.
yes, but anyway, so you are running for county commissioner. It's called San Lucia,
Lucy. St.
Lucy,
Lucie County.
San Lucy County. Yeah.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit of your political sort of a path. Like I see your short resume is full of positions of many different, political positions. So, what leads you into this one, and then tell us how important it is this job.
Well, the county commissioners decides on where our taxes, our property taxes, our different taxes collected through uh, our constitutional offers, like the tax collector, and they decide on where that money goes and how it can be distributed. So the power of this seed is one that you should be very humble about having, but it is something that is very useful. And I felt like right now that the opportunity for us to have a progressive leader like myself will be good for this county. So what led me to here is I ran for city commissions 2 years ago. In 2018, and in like 2.5, 3 months, we were able to garnish up like 36% of the vote. mind you, it's just me and like two of my friends from Westwood High School, and we just started campaigning, shaking people's hands, beating people, mingling. I've always been like that kind of a person. My grandma likes to say that I'm a people person, so I've always been a people person, and it sounds genuine because I'm being genuine. I try to make sure that even though running for office, that I still stay true to who I am. That's why my music is still to the core. I still sing. I do art. I do photo shoots. That is not a part I want to change. I think my art is the most important part of me. So I started running for office then, and then from running for office 2 years ago, it catapulted me into a life of politics. I started working for different political PACs like Next Gen America, ran by Tom Steyer. I worked for Andrew Yang, which is where we met up at. I work for Progressive Turnout Project. I just started really getting into the politics, canvassing more, learning about it, and then I realized the power of the political system, and I realized that we can make that system work for us, if not anywhere in St. Lucie County. So when I seen that, some people think, you go from city commissioners to county, and I think I'm a great example of showing that never, deny yourself the opportunity to challenge what is possible for yourself. And so, though I did not win my city commissioners race, I won because the connections I made, people already knowing who I am, what I'm about, and I've been canvassing and I've been working hard over the last 2 years. Some of that time was spent out of the state, but that was only to go get more information and to get more experience to bring back to my community. And I've been here working hard to make sure we get innovative ideas and that people feel represented no matter what color they are or where they come from in this county. I want to be the person, the county commissioner that they know they can talk to and that cares about them. So it's led me to run for county commissions. I actually submitted my paperwork right before I went to work for Andrew Yang in December. Um, and we just use the power of social media to pre-campaign. And now I'm running for county commissions. I like to say I'm like the person to be. I like to think in my race that I'm running it. I'm running not because I deserve it just off rip, but because I am working for people's votes. I am not spending wasting time on boats enjoying the beach right now. I'm out here working, out here protesting. I was the only person in my race that showed up to the Black Lives Matter event. I was the only person who showed up to the Fort Pierce Black Lives Matter march. And I've really been the only person showing up to anything, making sure that I work for your vote. My other opponents don't want to work for your vote. It's very clear. And I think that people understand that, and they think that I think it resonates my message and my humbleness, because that's what my grandma and my mother taught me, to be humble in everything you do. And I think that's what's important, because you can rest assured that this position won't get to my head. I want to do my part, and when it's my time, I want to help the next. And I don't want to be complacent. I don't want to be a wall for progression. And I just think that message resonates with people because they're tired of the same old. And I'm the only candidate that represents something new and fresh on the commission once elected into to the district.
How many people are running? Is this just one position or more than? Like,
Well,
how does that work? Yeah. How
for
does
our
that work?
county
Yeah.
for our
Sorry.
county commissions, we have 5 districts. I'm running for District 5 in St. Lucie County. The current incumbent is Kathy Townsend, Republican Kathy Townsend. So I'm running to be the Democratic nominee for the general election on November 3rd. And our election for the primary is going to be August 18th. And right now, my opponents are myself, and I have 2 other opponents. I'm the youngest. I'm 26. My other opponents are much older. I think they're retired. But right now, it's 3 people vying for the seat, but qualifying is on the 12th. So some people may not qualify. So I would know more after the 12th whether or not who actually qualified in my race. But right now, currently, it's 3 people vowing for the Democratic seat for this county commissioner seat in District 5. But everybody in our county votes. It's citywide, it's countywide voting. So even though I'm running for one district, every single person in the county is going to be able to vote. We vote county-wide here.
And
So
and the vote is, wait, the deadline is June 12th for qualifying.
qualifying by noon of June 12th is the qualifying deadline. So when I came back from working with Andrew Yang, we got straight to the ground getting petitions, and we were able to get about 1,000 petitions within a month or so. So we had another month and a half or 2 before qualifying, but then COVID-19 happened and all the events got canceled. So grassroots campaigns like myself were not given the actual opportunity to have a way of petition and qualifying, and we couldn't get the deadline extended. So we were forced as a grassroots campaign to just raise money to make sure that we have a representative represents progression. So we've kicked my team is kind of like kicked into gear to raising the $4,800 we need. So far, we raised like 2,000 plus, almost 3,000. We still need 2,100 more dollars before June 12th to make sure that I'm on the ballot. But we want to make sure we qualify before the end of the week to really show that it's not going to be like the last minute. It's going to be we come together that we want Henry, and we can show our want for Henry through a small contribution or a big contribution into a change in this county on my website.
Yes, very well. Our I hope you guys are listening, and if you can help Henry out to pitch in, and check Henry's Facebook, right? They can
Yes,
check on
you
Facebook.
can donate at www.duhart4fl.com. I posted it in the live chat. It's www.duhartforfl.com, and then you'll see a donate button. We're using Act Blue, so it takes all credit, debit, and transactions. You can even do, I think, through Apple Pay. And you make a contribution of 25, 50 to $100. All we need is a couple more people just to make a donation, and we can hit our goal. But www.duhartforfl.com is all my platform information as well, who I am, what I'm about, and also you can make a contribution on our website as well.
Great, thanks. So now I studied a little bit of your website. Oh yeah, Henry has a website. It's Duhart for FOR meaning Florida.com. So that's his website. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's in my description of YouTube, so you can check it out. And I'd like to maybe you can articulate a few things about your policies.
Okay.
Yeah, a few things you think. Because I know you have quite a lot of issues you talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, there's so many issues. I chose these particular platform points because I realized that we can't get I won't be able to get like every single thing accomplished. So I said, what are my priorities? So we have a For the People platform, which is talking about securing our communities, building more home ownership throughout our county with affordable housing in designated areas. Having, I'm for condos, I'm for fancy housing, but I'm also for affordable housing. We can have a diverse group of housing options without leaving out the middle class and leaving out the working class who too want to own a home, who too wants to be a property home owner. So I think we can have a diverse group of housings and communities throughout the county. I think we can provide surveillance security in the high crime, low income neighborhoods because a lot of that crime is happening because of people feeling as though they can get away with crimes, and that's why crimes keep getting committed. And the one thing I see across the county in the areas that don't have as much high crime rate, in the areas that has a very high crime rate, is home security and the lack of home security in high crime neighborhoods. And people need to understand that home security is a human right. Not the government is watching you, not this and that, but you are leaving your community out to I don't know what if you don't have home security. So I want to re-put the trust in it, and I think the county should find grant funding to support this somewhat of a trial for 4 years to see that if we provide home security in particular areas that have high crime, will the crime rates go down? Because if we can get the crime rates to go down, then we can bring in more big businesses. We can bring in people who can come here and understand that they can raise their family here and be safe, and we can erase the stigma of Fort Pierce or any part of our community in our county being unsafe. And I definitely want to be a part of the seaport and airport development. We recently we have an airport and a seaport. It's just never been operated at full capacity. So we have International Treasure Coast Airport, which I believe now has a hangar that can hold like jumbo jets, and we're working on hopefully getting those contracts we need so that our people can have an airport and don't have to drive to West Palm Beach or Orlando to get to wherever they need to go. And also developing our port to have more cargo with commercial, but I think more so we can work in the cargo area of our port to bring in more revenue to ease the burden of um, high taxes, because I think if we build revenue in other areas, we can begin to really lower our millage rates and lower our property taxes. But we must first build up a revenue somewhere else to replace what will be lost once we do lower the taxes. So I'm not against it, but I'm also about having a full plan so that we can continue this development throughout the community and just making sure that we also keep our environment first. We're having a huge erosion issue, and I want to be that county commissioner that does not let our erosion issue and our environmental issues just become just a part of a platform for campaign season. I want to have real conversations with local scientists and environmentalists and people who have the information and seeing at the capacity as a county commissions what we can do to help and push to make sure that we have a safe environment, though we are progressing as a community, and just making sure that we expand transportation, we build the workforce, work with all of our local institutions, and get as many people certified in trade. We have the jobs, we have living wage jobs in this area, in this county, with all the industry and mechanics needs, but the lack we have is certified people. So we have people with degrees, but we have nobody with certifications in trades. So I would like to change that up and recertify the workforce so that these residential jobs go to communities. So if you got a family, especially like in Fort Pierce, where a lot of people are low income, a lot of these homes is a mother and like three other people, a mother, her son, maybe a cousin, and maybe an aunt in one house. So if you was able to certify all those people in one house who usually had a median household income of $45,000 a year, but now you supply these 4 or 5 people in this home with a living wage job that's paying 25, 35,000 an hour, you've just increased that household income to way above what it used to be. You've just allowed people to really start thinking about, maybe I can own a home. You just release the burden of poverty off of a home to really be able to pay their light bill, to be able to get food, to be able to go on a trip, so you can also deal with your mental health and feel good about yourself. And you don't have to spend all your money on bills. So for me, my platform overall is innovative, but at the same time, I don't have all the answers, and I want to use this platform to get even more, to hear about more issues and see how we can create progressive solutions for everybody throughout this county, and bring something fresh, not the same thing that we've had for years, but something fresh to the St. Lucie County Commissions, to only, and I only want to increase what is already happening. I only want to become a part of a whole to make it better. I'm not saying I'm the one to fix everything. What I'm saying is I'm a great addition to the whole to make our county commissions more progressive and make sure that change comes to our community.
Great, Henry. Some of people here, they're not Florida resident, and I have a very vague map image of
Mhm.
where you are. I know you are on the East Coast. Your city is pretty much on the beach. I
Yes.
want to come to see you. But tell us a little bit about geographically. Like, what is the closest city? Say, if I would come to see you, where do I land?
So at this point, until we don't have an fully operating airport, so you would probably either land in West Palm Beach or Orlando. Most people land in West Palm Beach because West Palm Beach is only about 45 minutes away. Well, depending who's driving, it could be to 30 minutes, but that means you're going really fast. So it depends on who's driving, because we are Floridians and we drive a little crazy. But yeah, it's about 45 minutes north of West Palm Beach, and about an hour and 45 minutes south of Orlando. But we're basically the central East Coast area, the south central East Coast area of Florida, right on the beach town. Fort Pierce is a beach town, and it's right on the coast, right next to our lagoon, Indian River Lagoon. And we have lagoons, we have water sports, we have jet skis, we have yachts, we have all those cool little things, and we have beautiful beaches.
Wow,
You got to come. You'll love it.
wonderful. I love beaches. Yeah, I just went to Montauk. So
Oh, yeah. You have a lot of New Yorkers here. Everybody from New York moves here eventually.
yeah. Yeah, really? Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll come to see you. Uh, so great. And you have so many great points of the so articulated. I wanted to find out one thing is that I want you to tell people, young people, how
Mhm,
important it is to be involved in politics.
mhm. Yes, I mean, I understand that why my generation and the younger generation, even after me, sometimes just refuses and doesn't want to be involved. I can understand the hate sometimes even for the system, but I want to reassure young people that this is a game that you have to play, but you also play a big part, and you can make big moves in this game if we are organized and unified in how we play it. Politics is really just it's either a winners take all situation, or it's a the best player wins situation. That's what politics is. So I've understood the system, and I want to hopefully empower more young people to either run for office or at least understand that we must turn out the vote. We must get more young people to understand that even if only on a local level, we can evoke real change. And in St. Lucie County, it is definitely a place that if young people came together and unified, we could really invoke real change legislatively, making sure our tax dollars go to other places. We can affect so many different things if we organize our votes and our mindsets. And if you want to run for office, I hope that seeing me inspires you to do that, because I was told I can't do it. I was told who's gonna, I may not be electable, and here I am. I feel the candidate that is really getting a lot of traction, a lot of attention, and a lot of support. So do not listen to the very establishment that you're trying to change. You just do your thing. And I'm hoping that young people see this and understand how much power they actually do have, especially locally and especially in St. Lucie County, to be a part of the change.
Yeah, great. So, yeah, by the way, Henry is only 26 years old. You were
Uh,
born 1994.
90s, 90 baby. Yes, 94.
1994. I was like thinking where I was in 1994. Anyway, so now speaking of young, right? We were both part of this movement, Andrew Yang movement, which we supported Andrew Yang, who was 45 years old, right? 45 years
Mm.
old first. And then, so anyway, so you want to tell us a little bit about one of the important slogan, important policies of Andrew Yang is universal basic income. So you want to touch base a little bit about that and how you think, how you think about Andrew Yang first of all, and then what do you think about? Do you support universal basic income?
Yes, I'm a big supporter of universal basic income. I think our government just showed us how easily they print money to bail out big corporations who don't care about us. So I understand why when we talk about trying to help out the citizens, the voters, the residents, the Americans who truly need it, it seems that it's lackluster to do this. So I was always for it, even if it was temporary, even if it was only for a couple of months, even if it was only for a couple of years. I felt like even 6 months of a UBI could change people's lives. It could put them on another course. Not everybody's lives, and not everybody gonna make right decisions, but that's the case for anything we do. But I think a majority of people would have used that money, if even if it was for a short period of time, they would have used that money to change their lives and change the directions. Whether you're changing your life to start a business, change your life to get into your music, or changing your life by now having money to finally leave that man that may be hitting you. A lot of times Andrew Yang would speak on how domestic women who experience domestic violence often stay in a relationship due to finances. So this will allow so many different. It allowed his ideas would allow so many people to escape and find a better place, even if it was only temporary, even if UBI was just for a little while. So I don't understand why people can't grasp their head around that, but they can grasp their mind about around trillions for wars that we did in fighting wars and machinery. They can't, and you should definitely be able to wrap your mind around how the fact that we just build out so many companies with our own money, and we didn't even vote on that. I honestly feel like we need to start voting on bailouts. I don't think we need to be just giving $1 trillion away. So for me, that was a great thing. But my favorite policy point for Andrew Yang was human-centered capitalism. So I love the UBI and I support the UBI, but my favorite policy was human-centered capitalism, which was giving value to things that we don't consider as hard work. The mother who can't work, but the father's working a full-time job, but they have a child who's mentally disabled, so she has to stay home and take care of them. Or the person who's spending their last few dollars to continue these community gardens because they're not getting support from the local departments. But they spend their last dime on feeding the homeless, their last dime on creating awareness for healthy eating and mental health. And so many people who spend their last dimes on helping us, and we don't see that as valuable. We don't oftentimes get that money to them. We oftentimes give our money to like the big elite nonprofits. Even in the nonprofit system, there's elites. There's people who get. And to be honest, that money could be well deserved to some of the more smaller nonprofits who do more for less. And so for me, it's like human-centered capitalism was what I always used at the door to combat people, because people thought that he was just a socialist. And Andrew Yang was very much so a piece. He believes that it takes a little bit of everything, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Too much of this and too much of that is bad. Not enough is like, he's all about balance, and that's why he resonated with me. He really won me over because I felt like he represented me more when it comes to balance. I was originally a Bernie supporter, and I still love Bernie. In 2012 when he ran, he really inspired me because that was the first time um, that I could, I really just got into it. And then, but Andrew Yang was just like even more what I was, who was a person who thinks that everybody plays a piece, everybody has a piece of the puzzle.
Wonderful. Well said. Um, Now, I want you to sing us another song,
Okay,
please.
okay. Get something quick. Uh,
So
okay.
while you guys waiting for it, I'm just gonna tell you uh, Henry's let's see, Instagram is B B E the change, BETHE change 772. That's his Instagram. So what are you gonna sing for us? May we know?
A change is gonna come. I figured that's a simple one.
Oh, sure.
I was born by the river in a little tent. And oh, just like that river, I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die. 'Cause I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. I go to the movies and I go downtown. Somebody keep telling me don't hang around. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. Then I go to my brother and I said, brother, help me please. But he winds up knocking me down on my knees. Oh, there's been times that I thought I wouldn't last too long, but now I think I'm able to carry on. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will.
Thank you.
No
Beautiful.
problem.
Beautiful. So who wrote that? Do you...
That is written by Sam Cooke. He is one of the like prestige black artists who emerged out of the 50s and the 60s. He started his own record label, the first to do that, the first to start his own publishing company. And he recorded that song before he died at a pretty young age. So he recorded this song, A Change Gonna Come, and it was released after he died. And it was his final actual song that he made. And I think my campaign slogan is Be the Change. And I think that music, again, art has always led me to the answer. So that's why I don't ever forget art and music, because it's the core of who I am. And he's just speaking on that. It's been a long time coming, and I feel like that the times now represent that. It's been a long time coming, but I'm optimistic still that change is coming for sure.
Beautiful. I have a question for you in terms of music.
Mm-hmm.
You sing so beautifully. Any plans or project right now? I know you were working on some album
Mm-hmm.
in some studio, and so tell us a little bit about your music thing.
So music. So my stage name is Apollo Vega when I'm singing, and Right now, I am working on a EP with my friend James and LCP Studios in Port St. Lucie, Light Child. So I'm working and recording with him. He's a producer. And then I'm working with James as well out of Vero Beach, who's another local artist and producer and graphic designer. And we're going to release actually a music video after like my first election. We're going to try to release about August. The song is already out. It's called Nasty Baby. It's a beautiful song about human connection.
That's
Yeah, Nasty Baby. It's a song about human connection. And just, music is never supposed to be controlled. So I never intend and I won't intend on allowing what I do with politics to ever take control or change my music. And so my EP will be out hopefully by November. Right now, I just released one single and we're just trying to push it because it takes a lot to push music. It's not just
yeah,
releasing it, you got to promote it and all this stuff.
yeah,
So the EP should be out definitely before the general election, and then we're definitely gonna have a music video out by like October just to show what we're doing, and then we're gonna release like maybe 6 or 7 songs with promo and make sure that it's all great. So
yeah.
I'm not planning on giving up music at all.
And then the style, the style is what, or different, or is pretty much same.
Um,
What do you say?
Well, the style of this stuff right now, I'm very much into mixing sounds, so very retro, very funky. Also, I'm talking on topics from all different things, from human connection to love to hurt to um, depression, but in my own form. I'm taking topics that people usually don't talk about, and I'm making it into a beautiful song. So,
Mm.
like my song I just released, "Nasty Baby," is like, "I'm coming, coming, oh, oh, oh." Oh, 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 my mouth running. So it's kind of funky.
Yeah.
It's not sonata, but it's like it comes from me just like really. I'm doing a lot of retro sounds, synth sounds, a lot of like '70s revamping '70s synth sounds and
Uh-huh.
stuff. So
Yeah.
really it's more of sort of an experimental EP of mixing
Yeah.
different sounds and stuff together.
Yeah. Yeah. So you were saying earlier, I'm trying to find like how is your music ID is how to spell your
Uh,
Apollo.
Apollo Vega, Apollo Vega,
L,
Vega.
is it one word? Two word.
No, separate.
Okay. VAG
Vega.
VEGA. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Apollo, Apollo. Right. So
Yes.
people can look after you. So you use that as like, music stuff. Yeah. Okay.
It was a persona in high school. People started calling me Apollo. And I'm sorry, in college, when I went to college, nobody called me Henry. Nobody called me Peanut, which is my nickname for my family.
Peanut,
Yeah,
peanut
everyone
butter.
called me Apollo. Yeah. So, like in college, it was like my whole persona. Nobody called
Yeah.
me Henry. It was just Apollo.
Yeah.
So I had this whole other persona and
Yeah.
character, and it just kind of
Oh,
formed into that.
yeah, Apollo. Now, okay, let's talk about something a little bit serious now. Uh, this George Floyd
Mhm.
situation, who died a week ago, 25th. Yeah, this time flies. May 25th. That's the incident. So
Mhm.
in a week there's so much going on, right?
Yeah.
So much riot, so much rooting, so much protest, so much march. So tell us how you feel, first of all, I guess. How do you feel, why this is still going on that 30 years
Mhm.
later, after Rodney King incident,
Mhm.
and so what can society, what can people, what can the leadership, what can they do, what can we do to change the situation?
Okay. Well, at the march, which we had about 600 plus people turn out to that march, which was phenomenal. Maybe more than that. The thing I talked about was this is the fun stuff. The marching and stuff is just that's only about building up the energy, just rallying up the base. Similar to what Trump does, but he uses it for a negative purpose. But I'm all about energy. So what we did yesterday was build up people's energies, people's passions, refuel people. But the real work is the after. What are we going to do after? Are you now going to transfer that same energy into the same toxic circles and cycles that you were in before this march? Are you going to transfer that energy into maybe working, finding out where your local party is, how you can help vote for vote by mail, how you can do voter registrations? Maybe you want to really start that nonprofit to help feed people who are homeless. Maybe you really want to run for office and want to, instead of instead of complaining, you want to run and be a part of that. Maybe you want to just, see how you can play a bigger part in civic engagement in your community. There's so many different avenues for it. But, so for me, I hope what everybody got from yesterday and what we were doing was to make sure that we worry more so about the after. I think we're where we are still because it's not easy, but it's we can do this. We can do big events. I mean, so many people have died. There's so many reasons to march for, and we can bring people together for that one couple of hours, and then everybody goes back to doing what they were doing before. So that's not the solution. So the reason why we are where we are because we always stop there. And the after is nobody thinks about the after. What's next? How do we really organize, get real leadership that can make change in legislation? So what I'm about and what my team is about on my campaign and what anyone who's talked to me seems to be about who resonates with my message is the fact that I'm talking about the after, the work, the organization, the making sure we have more progressive leaders, to make sure we support those progressive leaders when they come out of our community, especially if they're young people raised here. And I just think that is why we still are where we are. But I think it's the job of my generation to do more than march because they've done that for us and they've paved the way. Our ancestors, the civil rights activists, have paved the way. Many died for what we're doing, but they didn't die for us to continue marching. They died so that we can go inside that house, inside that government building, inside those places, and make real change. And so that is my message. I'm not anti-riot necessarily because Martin Luther King says that rioting is just the voice of the unheard, the oppressed. But I'm not for or against it, but I don't promote it. And I'm about that same energy you finna put into damaging something that you paid for with your own tax dollars. Let's put that same energy into making sure we elect people who can spend your tax dollars on better things so that you don't feel like you have to riot. So you don't feel like you have to do these things. So I'm just about trying to get people to the after. I don't want to control anybody's energies because everybody has their own right to feel how they feel, especially if you lost somebody to police brutality, especially if you lost somebody personally. I'm not going to tell you how to feel, what to do. But what I will tell you is working with me, I'm going to make sure that the after happens. All the fun stuff, the camera stuff, the stuff for TV is fun in the sense of building the platform and giving us a platform to speak. But the after, the work, the real work we have to do, I'm for really guiding more people across that bridge so we can not be talking about this 50 years from now.
Well said. Well said. So now yesterday you went to the protest. So what was it quite peaceful?
Oh, we were very peaceful. I think we're like one of the only peaceful protests throughout the nation because everybody else is rioting. Tampa was just rioting like
Really?
yesterday. Yeah, the day
Oh.
before our protest, a friend of mine went to Tampa to
Mm.
join, and they rioted. And we had like it was anywhere from 600 to like 900 people there, and man, positive. I mean, we literally had out of all that we were doing with all of the comments on social media about people thinking it's not safe or oh be careful or don't do it or Trumpers or people who are like against this what we're doing,
Mm.
saying bad things. You're blocking up the roadways. You're going to stop the ambulance from coming across, which we didn't. We worked with the sheriff department and the police department, who are Republicans, mind you. Like I think the sheriff is a Republican sheriff. They were down. They were happy. All the Stewart PD and the Martin County Sheriff Department, the 10 people they had out there were smiling, happy, glad you guys doing it. Everybody was seemed to be understanding that we're getting ahead of a problem. We're gonna work together instead of fighting it and letting it boil over. We're all gonna work together to get ahead and move together. So our protest was peaceful. We walked about 2 miles. We had two city trolleys. We had people who even wasn't a part of the march who had put like signs on their cars. So as they drove by and saw us, it was just like this big energy of honking and happy and cameras and spreading a good positive energy. We only had like one Trump truck that yelled at us. Other than, but compared to riots and stuff, I think that's a good balance right there. We just had one Trumper who yelled at us and drove by, but I mean, it was peaceful, it was beautiful, it was impactful. We have video coming out to recapture it, so people can show that if anything, the Treasure Coast knows how to protest and practice our rights. But what you really need to worry about is make sure your platform is right because we're going to start coming to your city hall because this energy is going to be directed to the after, which is coming to city hall, coming to the county commissions, finding out what your platform is, make sure you're held accountable, voting, and make sure we get the right people in office. So that's what they really should be preparing for because that was just fun. That was just small. And now what we were marching for isn't fun. What I'm saying is marching is only the beginning. The lives that were lost is something serious. But if we really want to make change, the march and nothing we did at the march, whether we did it perfectly, will change that. What we need to do to change that is legislation, leadership, government, and stop being afraid of politics. Stop saying forget politics and get into politics. Change the system even if on a local level, and make sure we make real change in our community.
Beautiful. Today I watched it's about like about 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock sometimes. Minneapolis, they had a ceremony, they had an event that George Floyd's brother
Hmm.
um, went to visit the site where he was, had an incident and eventually he died.
Yeah.
Um, there was a lot of flowers, a lot of people, a lot of reporters, and then interestingly, when he speak, Reverend so and so also speak for a while, but finally, when the brother talks, at one point he's really, really calm and articulated. He mentioned we need to vote.
Yes.
Isn't that interesting?
Yes,
You
because
know,
he understands what needs to, like, if we don't do, it's not about forget politics. It's like, no. If you say forget politics, you're a part of the problem, because if you know how this thing works, you understand that you just need to organize. And a lot of times, especially like Fort Pierce in this county, there's so many progressive mindsets that if we organized and came together, it would be nothing to get what we need into place. It would be very pretty simple if we just came into a place and put our cast our vote. It's not like you were going to do it anyway. So trust me, let me show you how your vote is powerful. But I also understand people's resistance, because a lot of times some of the people who are elected don't make people feel comfortable with government. So I want to reestablish trust and reestablish, that what I'm talking about is real, and I'm genuine about doing it, and I have no special interest besides making sure your family, your community is safer than it was before. So, I think that's beautiful. Even Killer Mike is revolutionary. Killer Mike is not about bending, but Killer Mike too was like, don't burn down our Atlanta. Let's come together and do the real stuff we need to do. Let's plot. Let's plan. Let's just do what we need to do and organize and mobilize. So for me, Killer Mike's speech, if you've watched it, everything he said, I stand for. I stand for every single thing Killer Mike said at the conference, press conference with the Atlanta mayor of Atlanta. He's exactly right in what we need to do, especially as a Black community, to really progress. And it's not rioting, it's not destroying, it's organizing, getting rid of gossip, getting rid of all the negative stuff that keeps us from working together, and because of our indifferences, and working together and unifying, having real conversations to move forward.
right? Well said. Um, someone, oh yeah, this very good friend of mine, Dion. She made a comment. Just want to comment on Sam Cooke, who was my former acting teacher's cousin.
Oh, fancy.
Yeah. Anyway, she was an actress. Anyway, so we have some people obviously don't really know us, either me or you. They
Hmm.
were asking, say, "Are you a Republican?"
No,
So funny.
I'm a Democrat. I'm running in
Yeah.
a Democratic
Do you like Trump?
election, so um, I
Yeah.
dislike. Trump is not the first white racist president we've ever had. What I don't like about Trump, and I think what most people in the Black community don't like about Trump, too much even doesn't concern Trump, but the people that he empowers, which have throughout history, white terrorists, white supremacists. Racism has been the enemy of the Black community in America in our experience forever. We've been lynched, we've been killed, we've been enslaved, we've been disenfranchised, we've been mass incarcerated, we've had drugs planted into our communities, and because there's no way Black communities had any access to cocaine and all those things in the early 90s and 80s, but it was implanted into our communities, and we've been targeted. So people should understand why we don't want to explain why we don't like what he empowers. So if you read a history book, you'll understand why we're against what he empowers. So I think also too, it's not about Trump. It's not necessarily about him, his character, because Trump is not the first racist white person who's led this country. Okay, what is about Trump is in an era of change, in an era where we finally did legislation and things to try to move forward. He's re-empowering those who've been a horrible, horrible scar and blemish on the American history society. The skeleton in the closet that we choose to not actually, do. There was never any mass incarceration of white supremacists. There was never any mass incarceration of the Ku Klux Klan. But there was a mass incarceration of Black people when it comes to the war on drugs and a lot of other situations. So because he's empowering that group of people that throughout history we've had not too good interactions with, and if you're talking about rioting, I mean, and I see sometimes a lot of Republicans talk about rioting, but do you do your history of the riots on Black communities, like in St. Louis, Black communities in New York, who were successful, who had their own businesses, their own banks, their own everything, and they were burnt down by people who didn't want to see that. So for me, and we did, for me, it's just like I don't, but I also don't, I don't want to complain about anything. My slogan is "Don't complain, be the change." I can tell you the truth and I tell you my opinion, but at the end of the day, I'm all about solutions and figuring out okay, what is the after? What do we do to change these things? So, it's not even about Trump. It's about what he empowers. And that's what we don't want. We don't want somebody who empowers racism, who doesn't denounce racism, who doesn't denounce white supremacy, who doesn't denounce people doing things that are very obvious and against what we stand for in this country, or supposed to stand for in this country, and make it very clear I am a Democrat. I have Republican friends. I have independent friends. I have friends who don't care about politics at all. I'm a Democrat, but at the same time, I'm fluent, and I don't believe in tribalism, even within my own party. I think that everybody plays a piece. I just feel like it's very important that people understand that even if we're part of different parties and we're on different sides of the aisle, that sometimes we still could come together. I won't be supporting Trump and what he stands for, but other than maybe there's some other things we can agree on, like criminal reform, and you want your communities just as beautiful as we want our communities, and find more common denominators instead of our differences. And it's not about Trump, but it's about who he empowers, and that's why Trump has to go. And I'm a Democrat, so that's clear.
Democrat. Yeah. Thank you. So let me make just like two announcements. One is I have been doing this series. It's called A Conversation with Special Someone. In today's case is a conversation with Henry Duhart. And I've talked to about 12, 13 people. They are artists, musicians, sometimes specialists, educators, actors, film festival directors, all kind of people. So we have a talk like this on Monday and Wednesday, 4 p.m. Eastern time. So on this Wednesday, actually, have you? Oh, I don't think Henry, you met Yunjie on Wednesday.
That sounds familiar. That name sounds
Yunjie
familiar.
Lee. I don't think Yunjie came to New Hampshire. But anyway, Yunjie is a conductor and arranger, a musician. So Wednesday, I'm going to have a conversation with Yunjie, another young man. Please, you guys, subscribe my YouTube channel, Juhl Media, which is this channel you're here. Maybe when you're here, you already subscribed. But anyway, share and subscribe and like our episode if you like. All right, so let's. We have we have some time. Should we do a rapid fire, or should we
Sure.
have you sing another piece for us? You want to play some guitar?
I'll have my guitar with me. I'm sorry.
Huh? You don't?
No.
Oh, okay. Oh, you don't have your guitar. Okay.
No, I've been using my Bluetooth speaker to play like instrumentals.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you don't have. You wanna show us your operatic voice?
Okay. You think it'll sound good with the mic?
I think so. Yeah. Just go a little further. Don't get too close. You push your microphone a little far.
It's been a while. The operatic style, classical singing is not like pop art. Like that, you have to be warm up.
You can stand up. You should stand up.
Let's see if I can.
It's hard to sit down to sing.
Let's see. Okay, I can hear. Nessun dorma, nessun dorma. Tu proprio ci pesa nella tua fredda stanza. Oh, dire stelle che tramano d'amore e di speranza. Ma il mio mistero è chiuso in me e non manto nessun saprà. No, no, tu la tua bocca tramanto te stelle, tramanto te stelle. La il vincerò. Vite vacios cliaoci pesse ed dolente. Ma il mio mistero è chiuso in me e non manto nessun saprà. No, no, tu la tua bocca tramanto te stelle, tramanto te stelle. La il vincerò, vincerò, vincerò. It's been a while since I've on that
note. As a chorus.
Yeah, I love
Bravo.
Pavarotti. I love Pavarotti. I love Buccelli, and just the
Yeah.
tenor singers have always been my favorite.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah. Excellent. Yeah. Keep practicing.
Mm-hmm.
You should always I don't know if it would be a bad idea. Like in your album,
Mm-hmm.
what in your album,
Mm-hmm.
insert one opera aria.
Just like put it in there.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. So some opera singer, opera lover would love it.
Yeah.
All right. So should we do a Should I have you arrested? Should I share a Chinese folk song with you?
Sure, go ahead. I would love to hear it.
I need to practice. I see. When I'm a violist. My profession, my training is a violist. But when I was in conservatory, one of the class I really like is Chinese folk song. Class. So we learn all kinds of folk song from all different parts of China. In China, do you know? In China, we have 56 different minorities. Minorities meaning like ethnic groups in China, because China borders so many different countries. So they ended up having many minorities, not the Han people, Hans, like I am a Han people. So anyway, so there's a lot of like China has like 200 different dialect, So let's see, I'll sing you something, okay?
Okay.
I have so many. Excuse me. This is very kind of a little sad. This was dedicated for the George family. Okay, it's a girl lost someone. It's called Little Bok Choy. 小白菜呀， 地里荒野，三两岁呀，没了娘呀，亲娘呀，亲娘呀。So this just goes on and on and on, like for like 7 verses. Yeah, it's very simple.
He says a folk song.
It's a folk song. Yeah, this is in. Yeah. Um. Anyway,
I loved it.
enough
I think
with.
I could listen to it in some headphones. I'm gonna listen to some like Chinese folk songs on YouTube right
Yeah.
here now.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. As some folk songs will be more like a more raw. Like earlier, I show you like this one. 就呀乌怎么嘞呀嘞，哦呀就你个来呀，别跟你搂在花花。So that's like I'm saying another even a dialect, not even Mandarin. So anyway, all right, let's go. I wanted to let's do our rapid thing, rapid
Okay.
fire. Yeah. So I'm gonna ask a question of Henry about sort of random stuff, and he's gonna supposed to answer really quickly. Okay.
Okay.
Ready?
All right.
Okay. Favorite color?
Red.
Favorite type of food?
Crabs. Crab legs. Snow crab.
Spicy or mild or not spicy?
I usually get mild.
Beer or wine?
I used to be wine in my early 20s, but now I'm more beer. So right now I'm beer. Jack used to give me so much beer sometimes when we were after a long day.
What's your favorite video game?
Favorite video game is The Sims. Oh, I play Fortnite too.
Last book you read?
The last book I read was called the Black. It was about the Black Panther Party, about the origins of it.
Favorite Netflix TV series?
So my favorite Netflix TV series right now, because there's so many, I'm currently watching Sex Education on Netflix. It's pretty interesting. It's a TV show, I think, based out of England. It's pretty interesting.
What is it called?
Sex Education.
Really? Sex
It's
education? Oh,
yeah, it's a
okay.
TV show, but it's about sex education, but it's also a show. They entwine it into the story.
Oh, okay. I've been watching lately. Sorry, we stopped our rapid fire. I've been going crazy these days is to watch the out 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 banner. Wait,
Alt Manor.
out no it's escaping me. No, I'll find it because out something. Sorry. Anyway, it's really awesome. No, I have to find it because I was just telling another friend of mine. Sorry, Outlander.
Oh, Outlander. I've seen it. I haven't clicked on it yet.
You have you seen it?
I just saw the thing.
It's very addictive. Oh man. Yeah, it's about England. It's about really fantasy kind of a show. All right. Okay. Social media. Which social media do you do the most? Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever.
My biggest platform is definitely on Facebook. Facebook's a lot easier to work.
Because when we were in New Hampshire, isn't that true? You do not. You say you don't really do much Facebook. Was that you? Or you
No,
always
the only time I do, usually like it's for either like building my platform, getting my message. I use it as a platform for either my music or like my activisms. But outside of that, I try not to use it. But I kind of have to now because there's so much stuff happening.
Yeah. So Facebook is your favorite, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Facebook too. Yeah. Okay. So what city you what foreign city you would like to visit?
Well, actually, after the campaign, there's like a 2-week break. So me and my friends want to go to Thailand, depending on how the election goes. Depending on if we get
Thailand.
yeah, so
Really?
we want to Thailand for like a week. We want to go to Thailand after the election is over for a little bit, hopefully.
Food is great.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love it. I've been watching the street foods like videos on YouTube so I can get ready so I can eat all the different food.
Are you the only child?
No, I have two brothers, two sisters.
Wow, big family.
Yes.
God bless you. That's great. So, you're only 26.
Hmm.
Now, if you won the job of a county commissioner, uh, so you will be a politician for as a what do you call, as a profession? If you don't win, uh, what is your ideal job?
Well, for me, being the county commissioner is going to just be something that this is just my way of giving to the cause. I don't, like I said, my career and the thing that I'm trying to push right now is my music. So outside of the activism I do, I'm already working on like the EP promo. That's why we're not releasing it all at one time. We're kind of like pushing one single as we get stuff together, have more videos. So my full time, like my job that I do outside of politics is music, and I'm working on making it to where I can get paid for my music. Especially while I'm still young, I don't have kids and nothing. I might as well try right now. But if not, it's just continue doing what I was going to do anyway, which is my music. And then activism and stuff I've done, I always did that naturally anyways, putting together events and help people connect to resources. So I just be continue being Henry. This is just hopefully will give Henry a platform as county commissioner to do more with a lot more than he's had. Because every county commissioner has like a full time, like some of them have their own businesses, some of them, this is a full-time job leading, of course, but most people like to have some other type of business. It doesn't limit them from creating other assets for themselves.
Wonderful, wonderful. Um, have you been New York before?
Yes, I've been to New York. I went to New York while I was in New Hampshire for like a day or two. I did a photo shoot while I was up there, so I can get some photos for my campaign and stuff. Before that, I went to so the first time. So when I went to New York back in January, that was like in Brooklyn, and then like I saw the downtown or whatever you guys call it, Times Square. I saw all that, and then when I was slightly younger, I went to Long Island, and I was going to a
Line.
place called like Jamaica Avenue, which was like this strip that they go to. So I've been in New York twice. I love New York. I wouldn't be there for more than like 2 weeks, but I do love New York. Like I couldn't live there, but I could definitely visit often because I love that energy. I'm a country person at heart. Like I feel like I'm a southern man at heart, but I love the energy of cities too as well sometimes.
Yeah. By the way, tomorrow in downtown, uh, Police Plaza number one, 1 p.m. There is a protest
Oh,
for the Black Lives Matter. I'm finally going to join that because
that'd be great.
I was out of town, when they happened, because they had in New York City had a couple of protests on Saturday and Sunday.
Mm.
Yeah.
New York
So
represent. Hope you guys have a great protest.
yeah, yeah, I hope so too. All right, great. So, do you have any other issues you want to talk about before we wrap up, or you can say the closing words? I think, yeah, we're almost time for us to end. Do you have
Okay.
any other messages you want to tell us?
Well, again, I just want to make sure that everyone knows that I represent progressive change in this community. I'm really trying to do everything that I can to make sure that change comes to this area and real change is going to affect the little people and the unheard as well, and the people who are seen as unvaluable. I want to make sure that you're represented, and I'm the leader to represent you. And I feel like I'm the leader to represent not only people inland and people living in hard situations, but I think I could be a great leader for those living in the islands, living on the southern parts of our county, people who do own a home and are doing pretty well. I still want to represent you too. Even when I win my office, even though I'm running as a Democratic nominee, I still have to represent even my Republican constituents, my independent constituents, and the constituents who don't get involved in politics at all. So no matter who you are, know that after the process of this campaign and we do win this seat, even though I am a Democrat and I'm an African American man, that I still want to represent you and your families, whether black, white, Asian, does not matter. So, for me, and if I winning by 50%, even winning 50% of the vote, there's still another 50% of people who didn't vote for you. But you still have to lead them too. You still have to do and make the community better for their families. So I don't think any other person will think this way. I don't think any other person will put as much time as I will to mend and build the bridges after the election to be a leader for everybody. So support me. We have to raise $2,100 more dollars for me to be able to qualify with a fee. We have to June 12th at noon. You can go donate at www.duhart4fl.com and check out my platform, but also make a contribution to give me the opportunity to campaign and show you why I'm the better candidate and I'm the best candidate for St. Lucie County District 5, born and raised here. And I want to say thank you to you, Ching, for allowing me this platform and continue to allow me a platform, and also just being a contributor of my campaign. It really means a lot and allows me to do so much. And I want to thank everybody out there who's continued to support someone who at one point was said to be not electable, but we're doing really good, to be unelectable. So to be not electable is obviously to be electable in this new age of politics, because we are building, we are growing, and I just want to thank everybody. Please donate if you can, and to continue to be the change in your own communities. So our slogan is "Don't complain, be the change." That's what I'm about, and I'm always down to learn. And elect Henry Duhart for St. Lucie County
Yay.
Commissions, District 5.
Yay. Yay. Thank you so much. Yeah, well said. Well said. And I'm so proud of you from, the time in January I met you, in New Hampshire, and we also had a nice talk. So which that interviews on my YouTube channel. You can see Henry was very articulated and talking about NG Young campaign and stuff. So
Gang, gang.
anyway, Yang, yeah, yeah, and thank you so much for chatting with me, and thank you guys for watching Henry, and let's help him out. Any little help and is help, and let's send a singer to the to our government.
Yes. Artists.
Who can always entertain us. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Henry, and yeah. So keep up the great work, and I've been watching you, and I will help as much as I can. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
appreciate you, Ching. Tell
Sure.
everybody I said hi. Tell the family I said hi and your son.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much, Henry. Bye now, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, audience, for watching.